All right. I'm back. Let's see how many of you guys are gonna show up here. Let me make sure I mention this on my Discord, Twitter. Let's have a little post. 'Cause I know many people be having some of the same questions, so we're gonna work on that right now. So I could show the emulator and see some of the questions you guys probably have. Let me open this in a bigger screen so I can see it myself. What's up, man? How you doing? Welcome to the stream, my brother. Let's see. Create. There we go. Perfect. I could have the screen myself. There you go. So you can see what I'm doing here too. Shit. Oh. So I have a delay in the other screen. What's going on? Let's see. There we go. Now it's all synchronized. Perfect. So I can read the comments here. Let me make sure I copy this and paste it. Okay, supposedly we got 4 people watching right now. Yeah, but let me make sure that I post it on the Discord. I know somebody in my Discord is interested on that. So they have the question. I could actually show them how to do this properly. Let me put a post on my Discord real quick. Let me move this so my screen doesn't go blank. Let's see. Let me post this here. There you go. And let me tweet this just in case people have questions. Let me tweet it on my Twitter. Let me post this. Yes. Allow. Oh, because of the update. Oh, the shortcut looks a little bit different after the update on the phone. The only thing I cannot use no drip on the phone anymore, so I had to keep in a lower version on iOS. So what is up, guys? Welcome to the stream. So you guys saw the title of the stream. I'm gonna be answering some of your questions, to the best of my knowledge, and it's gonna be all about the EmuThreeDs for iOS because I saw in my previous video you guys were asking a lot of questions about this. Uh, Let me see if I could just open a tab and let me just go back to my iPad screen. I had 2 screens right here. Let me go back to the other screen. There we go. Perfect. And then I could open the tab and the other one so you guys can see also. Okay, let's see. Just go on my YouTube. Let me log in here. You guys see the whole different screen? I'm just gonna pull it off to the other screen so you guys can see. So you guys can see what I'm doing. Do you send me a FaceTime call? Yeah, good. Okay, good thing it didn't show here because it's gonna show everything. Let's go. Yeah, it just didn't show because I had the tablet connected to the capture card, so I had like 2 different screen. I got like a multiple display screen, so it didn't show on the all the screen near the tablet, so it didn't show that. So that's good. So let me go to my YouTube Studio. Nah, I want to view the one on the web. I don't want to watch the one on the app because the one on the app is better limited. There we go. So Studio. I have way too many shit open here. Let me close all of this. Yep, let me close everything because I have way too much stuff open. Close all these tabs. I have way too many stuff open. Close. There we go. That's a lot better. So I could pull the studio here so we could see the questions. And as you guys are here, don't be shy. You could put your questions in the comments there, and I could answer some of your questions right now. While I look for the video here, and I look for the questions. Let's see, so I can pull it and show it on the other screen. So video, let's go to the comments. I haven't replied. No public comments. Let's see. I could put some other common question I get asked all the time. Because I'm also gonna show you the emulator running and everything, so you guys can see how to like run the emulator. What is? Let me see. It's the filter most recent. I think it's better if I just go to the video. No, but I don't want to open the video here. Oh, yeah, he opened the video on the string as well too. So let me, yeah, I opened it on the other screen also as well too. Let me go to the other screen. You guys gonna see that right now. The Emo3DS it works on iOS 17, but the thing is about the issue with it is that in order to run the emulator at full speed, you need to use something called JIP, so they could run to the 100% capacity of the emulator. And when you're using iOS 17, you're not able to do that because I just updated to iOS 17 on my phone to test it out, and there's no way to activate the JIT as at the moment. So you cannot take like the full performance of the emulator using the JIP. And I could give you an example of Zoom when I run the emulator on my iPad. I still running iOS 16.6 on my iPad. My iPhone, I updated it to iOS 17 to test the emulator, and the emulator doesn't work at full speed on the iOS 17. So if you still have iOS 16, it's better you stay with 16 for the moment because the thing on side store is actually working in a solution for this, but at the moment there's no solution for this. I think my screen got frozen on the side. Let me see if I close this. Oh, there we go. It's actually working. It just couldn't. Oh, there we go. Much better. Let me open the YouTube app from this side. Okay, share on, move to display. There you go. That makes things a lot easier if I move to the display. There you go. So you guys can see. Uh, no, that's my live stream. Let's go channel videos popular. There you go. So you guys can see a lot better what I'm doing. And we are on most of this video right here. Comments. I have over 200 comments. Let's go to the new what's first because you guys have some of the questions right here. Because about the DLC questions, the way to add the DLC is basically the same as doing the installation on the emulator. You need to get a CIA version of it, and like I said before in the video, I don't know if you guys seen it. I actually convert my files to CCI, which is more compatible, and I have a video on that. Yeah, yeah. That's why I didn't update it to the beta. I sacrificed my phone so I could do the test for that, even though I could roll back. But my iPad is actually running iOS 16.6. Let me go back to my iPad screen so I could show you something. No, it's gonna show all my information on the iPad if I do that. But let me just open the emulator, and I'm gonna give you like a little comparison right now with the emulator running at full speed and running at not running at full speed. Let me see if I have the emulator installed. Do I have it installed? I don't remember if I have it sideloaded. Let me make sure I have a sideloader here. Where is my? Okay, I need to enable it. Let me enable the emulator real quick so I could show you the emulator running with the G and without the chip. And there we go. EmuThreeDs. Let me disable play because we're not gonna be using that right now. Okay, perfect. It disabled properly. Let me enable EmuThreeDs real quick. And the enable. Oh, give me an error. So if I get that error, I gotta close this, open this again. Go to side store. Let me move the screen so you guys can see what I'm doing. There you go. So we're back in here again. I disable the play emulator so I could enable Emo3DS using side store. Let me activate it again. If it gives you some errors, most of the time when you activating disabling, you just gotta basically turn off the VPN, close the app, and reboot. Because right here you see it gave me an error, so you just gotta close the whole app. You also need to let me minimize this. You also will need to open right here. You see it says VPN right here on the top. The VPN is basically the WireGuard that doesn't the connection inside your device that you could actually run it without having to use the computer. So you have to disable and enable it. You gotta go to side store. If it doesn't work the first time, like rebooting your device, it actually start working. Okay, now that I did that, let's see if we activate Emu3DS. Okay, it's giving me the same error. If it does this again, I need to reboot the tablet so it could refresh properly. Let me just take this out. Let me open Control Center. Let me enable airplane mode. There we go. Disable it. Perfect. Now let's enable WireGuard again. It's all about being patient because when you're using this, sometimes you have to like turn it on and off so it could work properly. But it's no biggie to be honest, especially if you don't want to be tethered to a computer 24/7. And I'm actually running an older version of SideStore on my device and running the 4.0, even though they have the new version 5.1. Because it takes me a while to update to the latest version because I gotta make sure the newer version is like more stable. It did took one of my app IDs, so that means that it's working. I just gotta refresh it properly, but it's just it takes some trial. If it doesn't work again, I just gotta power off my tablet, and then when I power the tablet back on again, I should be able to activate the app. So if it happens again, I just gotta turn it on and off, and that will get things working properly. Okay, I need to power off the tablet, so you're gonna see a black screen in a while. Power off. Yeah, power up, shut down. So you're gonna see a black screen. I'm rebooting the tablet right now. Just give me a second. Let me reboot the tablet. Because sometimes when thing doesn't work, you gotta reboot your whole device so you actually can start working properly. Okay, I'm back on. Already rebooted. So let me turn on this on again. Perfect. Let me plug in the HDMI on the iPad. Perfect. There you go. Stage man, you stand. It should show up soon on the screen. There we go. Okay. Okay, let's turn this on again. Side store. My apps, and let me activate EmuThreeDs. It should work now. Let's see. Let me unplug this from the monitors just in case that's getting on the way. Let me just do this off screen because let me see. Because it might be something that is causing some interference. Let's see. Or let me switch servers just in case. Yeah, let me switch the servers. Uh, But if the service is down, the good thing about this is that they have like different services where you could like connect and actually do the switch. So I'm gonna do that right now. Let me see. Let me switch to this one. And let me turn off the VPN back on. And I show you on the screen what I did. Yeah, after. Okay, let me go back here. Close this. Open. Because I disconnected it just in case is the connection here that is causing some issues. But I show you the screen after I'm done activating the app. Okay, let's see. Turn this off. Back on again. Side store. Activate app. There we go. Okay, this server that I switched to is not working properly. Let me switch back to server. This one so it will actually work. Let me close this. Close this. Open this. Let's go. And then I'll show you off screen what I did on screen after this activate. Okay, it should be working because it closed. It should be. There we go. Yeah, it should be working. Yep, it's giving me that error. So that means that I need to close both of the apps because it's not detecting the loop with the BPM. Uh, now that I'm connected to it, let me see what error. Okay, I need to update the. I need to update to the latest version. That's why it's doing that. I need to update. I'm forced to do the update right now. Yeah, let me do the update right now. I actually need to do the update to 5.0. Let me unplug this. I don't know what's giving you a black screen. Let's see. There we go. So you guys can see the screen now. Perfect. All right. Let me get the API file real quick for the update. Get out of here. Side store, side store, side store. There you go. Side store. And announcement. They have the update right there. There we go. Let me download this. Okay, let's install that update now. Keep app extension. I might have to reboot the tablet after the update. And since I'm doing a new update, is there's probably a chance that I need to get a new parent file, but I will have to wait until he tells me that I need that. He open the browser, so it should be updating. I probably have a notification already that says, "Yep, it was refreshed." So now we should be on version 5.0. Let me close it, open it again. Done here, so I could close. Let's see, we should be in the latest version. There we go. All right, so we updated the site store. Let's see now. Let me activate. Should be working now because I was able to install the update. Okay, give me an unable to access backup the L store. We'll call it. Okay, something is wrong with the app, so I will have to install the emulator again because it cannot get the backup. Now it's giving me a little bit more information about the error because it wasn't giving me information about it when I was using 4.0. But let me do this again just in case, and I'm gonna try a reboot because I have my game files already there, and I have a couple of save data I forgot to back up to save myself. But I'm not that far in the game, so I don't mind starting again so I could show you. But let's see now. My apps. Let's see what it says now. Because I have enough. Oh no, it actually two more app IDs. Mm-hmm. Is the emulator unable to access backup the all store? Yep. It cannot access the backup, so we'll have to reinstall on top of it, so I don't have to remove it. I will have to install on top of it. That way, I don't lose some of the data, and I could just basically go here and download my section right here. I have API downloads. I'm gonna download this version right here. Cause that's the one I put that version that I was having issues. So right here, I'm gonna download this one right here. This version. Let me save that version on save files. I put it right here. Save it. Replace. Let me install that API. So it could install on top of it and correct the error by just installing on top of it like an update. That should fix that issue if installed on top of it like an update. Because it will override this one right here with the version that I'm installing over. And there we go. So you saw what happened, right? So basically, the one that I was using that was giving me issues, I don't know if you guys are part of my Discord, but I put this right over here in my Discord. I put this right here in my Discord. I have a session for API downloads for the emulators that I know that are working properly. Right here, I have this version of the EmuThreeDs, which is version 1.06.5. This one, it was giving people issues when you install it using Altstore or SideStore. It's giving issue. The only way that I managed to install that one without having the issue is with something called eSign. I use eSign to install it, and I was able to run it properly. But the thing with eSign is that you need to have a certificate in order to silo apps and sign it, and it only gonna give you like around 7 days, just like Altstore or SideStore. But another my video that I posted recently is telling you about the benefits of SideStore Premium. That basically gives you they give you a certificate so you could sign your apps yourself using eSign, and when you sign the apps, you can store unlimited amount of apps on your device, and they will not expire for 1 year. And I was able to silo the latest version, which is this one, without any issues. And I was able to actually install it using SideStore, but I think it was a bug. And because I was using that version on SideStore right here, that's the version that you guys saw that I have below here. I wasn't able to get it from the backup, so that's why we were getting that error. So when you have a situation like that, you basically have to install the same app but a different version using you did it with SideStore, you gotta use it with SideStore. So the app will install on top of it and it's gonna be like an upgrade or downgrade, and your save data, whatever information you have saving there, should be fine. So right now you guys see that I have it right here. So right now I'm gonna open the emulator without using the JIT. Let me switch the screen so you guys can see. I open in my main screen, so let me swap it to this one right now. Move to the screen that you go so you guys can see. Um, for your question, my guy. Also for the Resident Evil 4, you iPhone 7 Plus should be able to run it. You might have to like tweak around the settings for resolution, because the thing that gets a little bit tricky is like having the perfect resolution. You will have to play around with the resolution setting. But when you're using Dolphin and you're trying to run that game, you gotta make sure that the CPUs is set up to single core instead of dual core, because if you have the emulator running as dual core, some games are not gonna run properly, or they're gonna be running super slow, or in some devices it's not gonna boot up at all. So if you set it up to single core, it should work properly on your iPhone 7 Plus. Now going back here, I open EmuThreeDs right now. Let me show you the settings that I have right here. These are the settings that I have enabled. Since I'm not gonna be using the JIT, I'm gonna have this off. So I'm gonna show you how the emulator runs without the JIT and enabling the JIT. And this options right here, we're gonna leave it as default. If you don't have this option, I recommend you to have these options right here. That's for the shaders and resolution. The device that I'm using right now that you guys see right here, I'm using an iPad 12.9 with the M1 chip. So it's the M1 chip is, guys, is overkill for emulation on iPad. So it's gonna be like very beefy, very powerful. And especially you have like an iPhone 13 with a A16, or you have, let's say in the future, an iPhone 15 with a 17 Pro, which is the 17 Pro is gonna be like an overkill for emulation, just like the M1. That's why I didn't bother to update my tablet to the M2, because it was just a slight performance on it. But right here with some of the settings, you're using like an older device, you will have to be a little bit mindful on that, because especially on the Emu 3DS, the developers are saying that you need to have at least a device that has an A12 chip. Is your device doesn't have an A12 chip and you're trying to run Emu 3DS, you're gonna be running into a lot of issues. So you gotta be very mindful of that. As your performance is not gonna be as the same as mine, or uh, as other people using a high-end device. So you got to be very mindful of that, because the minimum requirement to run this emulator, you need to have an A12, and that was stated by the developer of this app. Oh yeah, about those games that you run the until you run the Manhunt 2 and Midnight Club 3. Yeah, for the PSP is one of the easiest emulators to run on your on iOS device, especially you have like a 7 Plus, because I used to run those those games on my old 7 Plus, and they run well. The thing about those two games is that Midnight 3, I think, is one of the hardest game to emulate. Even, yeah, on a in my iPhone 13 Pro Max is a little bit hard to emulate, so you have to be playing around with the settings, especially when they have the setting for the resolution. You gotta play around with that, because you're gonna be upscaling a game, so you're gonna be putting a lot of strain and resources on your device for running. And you have an older device. The thing about the iPhone, they don't have a lot of RAM, and the Apple CPU and GPU, which is all combined into one chip. They share the RAM, as for the applications and for the video card. So that memory is shared. So you gotta be mindful of two things: how many apps you have open in the background, because if you're running the game upscaling the resolution, it's gonna take more resources. So if the phone doesn't have enough resources, one of the things that could happen when you're trying to force the phone to run a game upscale higher and having a lot of multiple apps running in the background is the phone's gonna overheat and the app is gonna close randomly. On my device, on my M1 iPad, the one that I'm using, my device has 8 gigabytes of RAM, and that's shared between the app that I use, the CPU and the GPU. But the applications are limited to using, out of my 8 gigabytes, only 6 gigabytes is the max that they could use. So when you're doing upscaling, um, especially with the games that you mentioned, my friend, with the games that you mentioned, You gotta play around with the resolution, and you're gonna have a really good playable frame rate. Especially you can play with the resolution on the emulator. So right here, do not copy the setting that I have here for the EmuThreeDs because again, I'm using kind of a little bit higher end device, so you're not gonna have the same result as me. So you gotta be playing around with the resolution. And for here, I play with on my iPad for testing the emulator. I do not play on portrait. I always play on landscape, so laying down. And I just put it both on landscape because sometimes the screen can get a little messed up. That's why they have this option right here to swap the screen. And anything else here that I have here, I just left it the same. So right here, let me show you something. Let me put this in a full screen so to see if it shows. When you guys are running the emulator, after installing this one from my video, you notice that depending the version that you install, you are gonna have an option in between here, in between library and settings. If you're using an older version, a newer version, you're gonna see the option right here. I'm using the version before the latest one, so the option is not here in the middle. But you're gonna see an option that says here emulation. The moment that you click on the emulation window, it's gonna have like a controller icon, and you don't have the game running on the emulator. The moment you click on that, is going to crash the emulator completely, because that's supposed to be click on when you have the game running. If the game is not running, you click on that, it's gonna crash the emulator completely. So you cannot click on that. On library, you already see that I have the game already installed. I mentioned before, I even have a tutorial how to convert your CIA file or the 3DS into CCI, because CCI is one of the most compatible formats to use with Citra. This emulator is based on the Citra emulator, and this is like a port of the emulator for iOS. And right here you see that my game format is set up to CCI. I'm gonna show you how this looks inside of my folder so you guys can see. Right here on the top left corner, you have an option that says plus to import the file. And you see an option right here that says convert CIA or import CIA. The import version is just basically to grab your your ROM and is to grab the import version is to get your CIA file and put it inside of the emulator and install it. So when you click on that, it's gonna open here and it's gonna be looking for the file. So you could get a CIA file from your download folder and install it in emulator. When you do that, what it's gonna do is that it's gonna grab that CIA file and it's gonna install the game file inside of the emulator. The reason why I don't do that is because that takes a lot of space. And let me close this. That's gonna take a lot of space, and it's an option that I don't like to do at all because sometimes most of the people's gonna forget about it. So you're gonna have the game installed in two places: the original file, and you're gonna have the file already installed on the emulator. So right here in the 3DS folder, when you install a game, it's gonna create all this folder you guys see in here. System data, NAND, which is basically the memory of the console, and right here is gonna install the games. The game is not installed here. This is basically all my save data of the game, so it's not installed in here at all. So this right here is just the save data on my game and the configuration of the emulator that I have in here. When you install the game, you're gonna see a lot of bunch of folders and a lot of data, and you're gonna have the game installed in two places. It's gonna be inside here of the NAND, and then also you're gonna have in your download folder. So you're basically gonna be taking space in both places. The way that I've been recommending people to do it, even though it says it's not compatible, it's actually compatible because this is a port of Citra, is converting those CIA files to something called CCI. I have a tutorial on that. If you want me to share the video, I could share it later so you guys can see. So when you get those files, the CCI, you need to run the emulator for the first time. After you run it, this folder right here that says EmuThreeDs is going to be generated. Inside of this folder, there's a folder called ROMs. In here, that's where you put your games. Here you're gonna put the CIA files of the game so you can install. And also, you already got the game converted. I convert my games again to CCI because it's more portable. It's like a ISO file that you don't need to install inside of the emulator. So basically, you could carry those files around without having to install on the emulator. So right here, this is my file. This is my game. This Metroid Samus Return. That's CIA. I converted the file, so it's already here. So when you go on the emulator recognizes the file right away and it shows up here. That's why I don't have to waste time and go here, install the file, and create a bunch of folders and files. Because when you have it installed, another thing I have about having it installed is the following. When you have it installed, you need to do the following. If you want to move that file around and put it on, let's say, on your iPad or your iPhone, and you have it installed in one place, you gotta go here and find the game, like in all those folders, and see which game is it for you to take. You gotta do all of that. Find the game, make sure everything in it is in here, copy it. That's a lot of stuff that you gotta do. When you have it straight up on this format right here, that's why I did that tutorial. You just grab the file, put it on your USB or whatever, and go. And you just download the file and you just have it there. It's easy like that. That's why I recommend just to use that format, because when you do that format again, you put it on the wrong folder, the game show up right away in the emulator, and you don't even have to go around and, oh, my file's not showing up. What can I do? Because I have a lot of questions like that telling me that they have the CIA file every single time that they're trying to click in here to install the file. It's not working properly. So to avoid that headache, I recommend you to convert the files right away to CCI, because it's a lot easier to have this file format. It's a lot easier. And if you're gonna back up your, let's say, your save data, I think it's your save data is stored here on SDMT. This is where your save data is at. So when you switching between, just in case you wanna have an extra backup of your save, you can copy this folder and gonna have your save data for your games. So again, let me run now. I talk a lot about this, and we went back and forward just to make it a little bit more clear. But if you still have some questions, you could leave it down below on the string here, and I will answer the questions. But right now, let me show you again. I'm running with the emulator. I don't have the G enable, uh, so I'm gonna be running the emulator without the GIF, so you can see the performance. Let me run the game. Let me get you some audio. Let me fix this right now. There you go. Oh shit, that's loud. Uh, wait, that's loud. Give me a second. Let me know if the volume of the game is too loud on your end. Right here, I have the stats so you can see the performance. Again, my performance is gonna be different because I'm running this on the iPad M1, so the performance is gonna be completely different if you're running in another device. If you're running in another device, you will want to run this emulator using GIF so you could hear the full performance. So it shows a little bit hex up right here. Let me minimize, open again. Let me do this. What's it called? Motu. There we go. There you go. My save data is still here. It's still safe. I didn't lose my save data after I updated the game. I'm using a controller right now, so that's why it's not showing me the inputs in here. But if you have a controller connected, you're gonna have an option here, like a little wheel gear icon here, where you could actually disable it so you actually see your controller input. So this is running without drip, so you're gonna see this like running a little bit slow sometimes, and you're gonna hear like a little bit audio lag because I'm running the game without the chip. I'm using a PS4 controller right now with the game. It says I'm running at 90 frames per second, but I doubt it because I see a lot of delays because I'm not using the chip. Let's see. Yeah, I can feel it. You can feel it, right? It feels like kind of slow, right? So as I'm using the other screen, I can't bring out the other menu here. I will have to switch it back to my main screen, and then I'll switch it back here so I could bring out the other menu I want to show you. Move to iPad screen. Let's see. I can bring out the option, so I will have to disconnect the controller. Let me switch it back to the monitor so you can see it again. Let me disconnect the controller to see if, oh, there we go. So when you run the emulator, you're gonna see this right here, this layout, instead of the one that I was using. When you're using a controller, it's supposed to fade away, but if it doesn't fade away, you have to use, right here is gonna appear like a little wheel icon to hide the controller, but I think now it does it automatically with the latest versions, so you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, well, this is moving slow. Yeah, this is moving. It is moving slow. I don't know if you guys can tell too. It says it's running at 90 frames per second, but it feels slower than that. I'm basically giving you the tutorial for what I've been doing, the counters. You pull this back to full screen. I gotta play around with the screen resolution here, but it's not bringing that menu that I use. Let me say it's not bringing out the menu. Let me switch it back to the iPad screen so I could play around with the resolution. Let me see. Move to iPad. Let's go. Can bring that menu. Nope, it doesn't let me bring the menu right now because I have it connected to the. Computer with a capture card, so I can bring up the menu that I wanted to bring. All right, let me close the emulator and run it with the chip now so I could show you something. Okay, when you're running with the chip, you gotta remember to enable this option here, because if you try to run it with the chip, it might crash the emulator. You don't have that option on because you gotta let the emulator know that you're gonna be using that option. So I'm gonna run it without clicking enable so you could see what I'm talking about. So let me minimize this. Let's go to site store. Also, make sure you have the you're using SideStore. Make sure you're using WireGuard. Make sure it's enabled. As you guys can see right here, I have it enabled. So it could use the connection with SideStore, so you could enable the JIT locally. So I'm gonna enable the JIT. Let me hold this down. Enable JIT. It says enable. And as you guys can see now, after I enable the JIT, we have a new option down here. It's called emulation. This is what you guys been doing. Let me see if it does it right here. So remember what I told you at the beginning, like when you click on emulation and you have no game running, it's gonna crash the emulator. You see what happened? It crashes the emulator. You're not supposed to click that option if the game is not running. So if you click that option when you see it, it's just gonna crash the emulator. Because you're supposed to have the game running first before you click on that. And something weird just happened too. You notice that it's not showing up my games in here either, too, right? And you click on emulation, it crashes the emulator. So let's close this because it's not showing my game. And as you guys can see right here on my folder, on my run folder, the game is actually here. And we were just playing it just now too. So we're going to open the emulator and we're going to go to settings, enable JIT. We're gonna close this. We're gonna open SideStore again. Hold this down, enable JIT. If the game doesn't show still, even though you have the game installed, you will have to reboot the tablet so it will actually show the stuff here. And you see I have some different options here. So let me switch back to, I like to have it on landscape. This one, the resolution, I was playing it at 1440p. Let me leave that like that. And now this option here doesn't work. Like I told you guys, the option there doesn't work. Sometimes it get glitch. And especially it's not working as it's supposed to. So I'm gonna close this too. And let me make sure that I close this also as well. And I gotta make sure this is closed too. So let's close it all the way. There we go. Let's close all the way. Close this all the way. Because as you guys can see, I do have my games right here inside the emulator. But right now, something very interesting is happening, which I haven't seen. Now, I have two different folders with EmuThreeDs. You guys can see this, right? I got two different ones right here. I got this one and I got this one right here. That never happened before. I'm gonna be honest with you. That never happened before. It's the first thing I see this happening. It created a secondary folder right here. So that means that the emulator just installed twice in here. Where is let me run it with the JIT. Oh no, it's not gonna run because I turn off WireGuard. You gotta make sure WireGuard is on. Then you go back here, enable the JIT. There we go. So after I enable the JIT, for some reason created a second one. Let me look over here on my tablet just to make sure I'm not bugging. Nope, I'm not bugging. I had two versions installed now. Interesting. This is very interesting. So what I'm gonna do is to solve this issue. We know we have the game already installed. So I just basically gonna move the game to the new ROM folder that just appeared. So we're gonna move it. We're gonna move it to the new folder that just appeared here. So avoid any issues, we're gonna put it right here. Let's move it right here. Done. And now let me also my save data because I don't wanna start over again. So we're gonna grab the information from here. So we're gonna select this, and this. We're gonna copy all the folders because For some reason, it created another version of the emulator inside here. Let's copy it and let's press right here. All right. This is very interesting. It created another version of it. So let's enable the zip to run it. Yeah, that's right. I forgot to close this out. Close this out. WireGuard. I forgot to turn it off. Turn it back on. VPN is on. Side store. My apps. Enable JIT. There we go. And as you guys can see now, I got my file right here. Again, the Metro game and the .cci. So we have a emulator back in here. Let me see something else too. Render. What did I have here before? Make sure my setting is all the same. Oh, let me enable this. Plugins, perfect. Perfect. Okay, everything is all the same. Perfect. Emulation again. You click on it, it will crash the emulator. So let me see what's going on here because I got two folders now. Interesting. Let me see what happened. Maybe I installed it on eSign. Did I? Ah, I did. That's why. Never mind. The reason why I have that is because I installed another version with eSign, which is the latest version that I was running. I was running the version that you guys saw me running. My apologies, is this version right here. The one that I marked on my Discord is the one that currently having issues with side store and out store. I was running without the chip, but it actually showed you the same type of performance that you're gonna expect when you're running while using the chip. So, and that aspect was still good to go. So let me enable it again. There you go. So we have this here now. Again, never click on emulation when the game's not running because it's gonna crash the emulator. If you got make sure if you're using JIP to have the JIP enabled so you can actually run because if you try to enable JIP and this is not enabled, it's gonna crash. Now let's click on the game. Now after I click on the game, it actually gave me it switched from library to emulation because the game is actually running now. Controller. I'm using a controller right now connected to the iPad. So in order for me to remove this, since I'm using a controller, you gotta go here, controller, and you gotta click on disconnect. And for you guys that are using SideStore or AllStore, you need to install this version right here. If you install the latest one, you're gonna have a lot of issues because it's not working properly with SideStore or AllStore, which is this one right here. That's the version that I was using earlier, and I just realized that. I feel a little bit dumb about that. But you gotta make sure that's the correct version you guys using. Let me close this again and open it again because I gotta make sure I'm using the right version. This is the way I know I'm using the right version. Running it through SideStore with the JIT enable. So let me disable the controller again and disconnect so I could get the screen controllers out of my way. There we go. There we go. And as you guys can see, the only thing is I'm using the version from SideStore. The only issue is that, as you guys can see right here, is I don't have all the screens that I was showing you guys with all the spec of what's going on. I don't have that option here to show you guys, so you guys cannot see how's the game running. And that little crash there is because I switched from the window, and that's something that was happening a lot with the older version of the emulator. And the thing is you want to use the newest version. When you try to sideload it with Outstore, SideStore, or Scarlet, it's not working how as intended. For some reason, it works a lot better when you use eSign. And the version that I have installed in eSign, I could run it with a chip, but I had to use something called Jitterbug in a separate iOS device, so I could actually run the chip. And you could actually do that if you got alt server installed on your computer and run it like that. So it's running a little bit smoother now that I'm using the chip compared with before. Just a bit smoother because it's still creating those shader for the game right now. But I feel it's a little bit smoother right now. If you see that your game is running a little bit slow, always you gotta make sure you change around the resolution. But now let me do something real quick. So now I know which version is this version again that I was running right now is this one right here, which is, let me go down here. Is this version right here that I was running. The 1.06.4. That's the version that I was running just now. I'm gonna run the latest one, which is this one right here. But again, I'm running that one using eSign, and I'm gonna enable the jitterbug so you guys can see it running. So let me just delete this because it's gonna be taking a lot of space. So the files, that's okay. Let me delete the game from here because it's gonna take some space. ROM. Let me delete this because I have the game copied twice. Delete now. To make sure I deleted the right one, let me do this real quick. Side store. Let's disable it. Disable. It will deactivate and it will back up the. It will back up my data. It can't find the directory. The reason probably because of that's because I had two versions installed probably. Let me delete this one actually. Let me delete this version because I already got one running. And now it's not gonna let me delete it either. Interesting. So let me delete it from right here. Give me a second, guys. Recently added. There we go. I found which one is it. Let me delete the app. Delete. There we go. It's gone. So if I go in here, it's not gonna show it up here. So now that this happened to me, I gotta say you guys gotta be very careful because if you got two versions of the app, it's gonna cause some conflict with the directory where they save the information. That's what happened to me just now because I had the SideStore version installed and I had the version for eSign installed. So if you had like two different versions installed, it's gonna cause a lot of conflict in between. So let's look for EmuThreeDs. The one that you guys are gonna see right here. This is the latest version that I installed using. Yep. This is the latest version right here. This is the latest version I installed using eSign. Yep, this is the latest version right here. Let me enable this, and let's see. This is the version I saw with this. Let me show you right here. eSign. I use this right here. I use eSign to install it. apps. These are the signed app that I signed those app with my certificate. This is the version right here. As you guys can see, this is the latest version, version 1.06.5. So this version right here, if you try to install it using SciStore for some reason, SciStore, AllStore, and Scarlet is having some issues, so it's gonna crash and cause a lot of issues. My only issue is the app was sideloaded using eSci instead of SciStore. There's no form for me to enable the JIT using eSign. And since it wasn't sideloaded using SciStore, I won't be able to either use um, SciStore JIT to enable it. The other way to do it is using all server, but let me run all server on my computer right now. Let me see if it actually is gonna work. Okay, let's see. I don't have a screen to show you what I'm doing on my computer, but I just tested to see if it's gonna do enable JIT. Nope, it doesn't show my iPad here either, so it's not gonna work like that unless I plug my iPad directly to the computer to run it. If you do it that way, actually it's gonna work. But the way that I'm actually able to run JIT is because I have the iPad and I have the iPhone, so I could actually just open Jitterbug on my iPhone. Let me install Jitterbug right now on my iPhone. Let me enable it because I have it disabled. As you're going to see when the app runs, is because I'm using it on the and executing the JIT from my iPhone. Enable this. Let me silo this on my iPhone so I can enable the JIT. Because the workaround for this, I don't know if you guys come from JitStreamer. It used to be JitStreamer. You install a shortcut or JitStreamer on your iOS device that was running the emulators, and with that, you were able to actually run the you were able to run the JIPs doing that way. But that is gone now, so everything has to be through SideStore. And for some reason, I think it's gotta be this version of SciStore that I'm running. It also let me backed up my files. Yep, it's not creating the directory properly. Yep, it's not doing the backup properly. Um, I will have to report this to the team so they could see what's going on because right now I can't even. Hmm. Yep. Let me roll back the version of SciStore right now because I'm having some issues when creating the directories. I need to report this bug to the devs because this is just weird. This never happened before, so I had to do some more testing on that. There we go. Let me roll back. I'm rolling back my version of SciStore so I could do the backup properly. Yep, I was able to roll back without any issues. Let me see if I could actually disable the apps and enable it without any issues. If it is that, I will have to stay with version 4.0. Let me just deactivate. Okay, let me close this because for some reason it's asking me to sign in again when I already signed in. Okay, let's see if this works. Yeah, I'm signed in, so I don't know why it's asking me to sign in again. Let me see the deactivate. Yeah, it's asking me to sign in again. Interesting. Let me do that again. Let's see. Because it's asking me to sign in once again. Okay, I was able to successfully sign in. Yep, the backups were done properly with version 4.0. I need to report this right now to the team. Yep, I was able to do the backup properly this time around. So apparently there's some issues with this version, so I gotta report this. I gotta write bug reports though. It's consuming all my app IDs right now. Yep, it started properly. There we go. So now you're gonna see that I'm able to connect to my iPad. I should be able to launch the emulator without any issues. EmuThreeDs, enable JIP, and boom, and it's changed. I launched the app from my phone. That's why it opened it up. As you guys can see, it's already open. Man, there's a lot of stuff that I gotta talk to the team about. Okay, it's not showing my game here, meaning that I deleted the wrong game. So I gotta go here. My game. Yep, I deleted the wrong game. So let me click on here and oops, I deleted my whole game. Hmm. Yeah, I deleted my game. My save data is still here though. Give me a second. I will have to disconnect from the screen because I need to get my game file again. So you guys excuse me. Let me do this real quick. Uh, Actually, I won't have to do that because I could have a different screen here so you guys can see. Mm, Let me see. Let me get my game file again. My Metro again. There we go. I had to download it again because I deleted the file, so I get my game back. It could take out a few seconds. While this is happening, let me open on my desktop. I'm gonna open my Discord so I could send them a message and let them know. There you go. So my game finished downloading. Let me save it on my EmuThreeDs folder runs. Let's save it right here. Boom, done. Close this. And right here, the emulator should show out the game. If it doesn't show the game, I need to close this, close it, run the jet again. I'm gonna run the app right now in a few. Go, enable jet. There we go, and the game show up. As you guys can see, my games show up here because I already installed properly. Let's run the game. You also should be able to see now the stats of the game, all of that. Don't mind me. I need to sending a message right now, so let them know some of the bugs that I just found. Let me let them know right now. Ooh. Sorry, you hear me typing, just letting me know the bug that I found. All right, just letting them know what I found with a bug. How the phone came out of my pocket? See, and we also running right now. You guys see in the background is the latest version of EmuThreeDs. Again, if you try to silo this using a Scarlet, SideStore, or AllStore, it's gonna come some issues for some reason. And I have this installed using eSign. And again, there's a you're using a free Apple developer ID. You will have to like refresh it yourself by reinstalling it before it reaches 7 days. But I'm using one of the SideStore premium benefits that gave me a certificate that lets me sign unlimited apps on my device with 365 days. I did a video about this, you guys can see. Wait a minute, I need to switch this screen. Swap the screen in the phone that I don't want it to swap. Minimize. Nope, this is not what I intend to do. How to close the emulator and open it again. Because it's giving me the wrong resolution. I don't want this resolution. Let me close this. Let me go to settings again. Settings, swap screen. I have it on landscape, so why it's giving me let me go back here and oh, there we go. I think it's large screen, the option that I was using, so it should work now. I need to enable it with JIP, so I had to close it again and use Jitterbug on my other phone, so I could actually enable the JIT on the emulator. So let me do that real quick. Give me a second. I close the app. It should relaunch in a few seconds. Enable launching, and there we go. Perfect. So now it should be at the resolution that I want it to be. I detected my controller. Perfect. While that is booting up, there we go. That's the thing that I wanted to see. But it's not taking the whole screen like before. What in the hell is going on? Maybe because I have it connected to the computer. I think it's because I have it connected to the computer. Because if I do this, switches in between. Ah, it went back to normal. Damn it. Oh, I think I know why I did that. Actually, let me close this. Let me close it and open it again because I think I know why I did it. Because since I'm using the iPad and I stretch the screen, yeah, actually trading that as a portrait mode. So I gotta do this large screen, single screen. There you go. So now, if I run it again with the jib, it should do the same thing. So let me just do that again. Let's see again. There we go. That's much better. Let's see. Ah, still giving me that, man. I know it looks weird in here, but when you're using this like this on your phone or the tablet by itself, it looks a lot better. It's because it's stretching the to match the aspect ratio of the monitor. Okay, what's going on here? All right, there we go. So now with this version, you can actually see the frame rate here with this version. The iPad screen is up to 120, but it's running at 90 frames. It's locked to 90 frames for this game. I think if I do this, it's gonna look a lot better if I do this. There we go. That's the way it's supposed to be looking while taking the whole space of the screen. But I don't know why it's not doing it right now. Maybe because because I'm connected directly to the capture card. It's probably doing that because I'm connected to the capture card. There we go. So now, so I will have to have it like that so you guys can see actually the full picture there. There we go. I know it looks a little bit like it now, but actually I'm looking at the iPad screen. But as you guys can see in the top left corner, it's actually running at 90 frames. I'm not. Let me try lowering the resolution. Let me see if I could just do it from here. No, I don't think I could. Nope, it doesn't let me go to the menu. There's supposed to be some menus here, but I can't access it. So I have to close it right here and sorry. Open it again. Oh, what are you? What are you? There you are. All right, so let's lower the resolution to um, let's do 960p, which is better than regular HD resolution. Once again, I had to close the whole emulator. I gotta use Jitterbug on my phone. Oh wait, I had to use Jitterbug on my phone because I didn't sideload this version with I didn't sideload it with SciStore, so I had to use Jitterbug to run it because I'm using eSign because this is the latest version of EmuThreeDs, so it doesn't work properly with SciStore at the moment. And while this runs, let me click in here. Oh shit, give me a second. I need to turn off this real quick. Give me a second. Let's turn this off because I think it causes interference right now. So it doesn't. There we go. That should work a lot better now. So let's see now. There we go. Found my device a lot faster that way. If not, we'll have to close the. Yeah, is let me turn off the Wi-Fi here so I can find it because it's giving me some issues right now. Let me close this. There we go. Close that too. Get out of here. And now let me turn back to the Wi-Fi so I can actually run it. Wi-Fi on. And give me 1 second, guys. I need to. I'm helping somebody at the same time on the Discord. Let me do that real quick. Hey, how you doing, my brother? Yeah, so far so good, man. Can't complain. I've been playing a lot of games. I've been busy, like sidetrack doing some other stuff on the side, especially with work too, man. It's been really busy. Oh, there we go. That worked. So now let me run the emulator. You run, and let me move it to the other screen so you guys can see it. There we go. Oh, there we go. My iPad just having a load screen when I was using it. There we go. All right, there we go. So you guys can see the screen there. Perfect. So, oh, damn it. I had to close this again. I think when my iPad went to sleep and took down the whole screen, he removed the GIF from the app. So I had to re-enable it again. Because my iPad went to sleep mode and he turned off my screen, so he removed the GIF out of the app. There we go. Nope, there we go. I was working. There we go. That was working properly. All right, let's see. Yeah, it's actually there. You go. It's actually there. You go. You can see actually running a little bit faster now. Yep. There we go. Much better actually. There we go. Sorry, give me a millisecond. There we go. What's going on? There we go. Okay, sorry, I'm helping somebody else on the Discord, and that's why I was getting really distracted. But as you guys can see, it's actually running a lot better. This is the latest version of the emulator. It's running more stable after reloading, lowering the resolution to 960p. Oh shit. There's more responsive now. That's what I was saying, that you would have to like play around with the resolution so you could get like better performance. Because right now I'm getting a lot better performance, more responsive too. Yeah, it's a lot more responsive now after I lowered the resolution to 960p. So in your case, you will have to like play around with the resolution. And again, I'm using an iPad Pro and M1, so it's a little bit overkill for everything else. But some of the games you will have to like actually do is play around with the resolution, because now, as you guys can see, it's running a lot smoother. Yep, this is a lot smoother. So for me, the perfect spot is 960p while playing on the tablet. I haven't tested this on the iPhone, but on the iPhone, I think if you're playing at 720p at HD, you should be more than enough. It should be more than good enough for you. Shit, too early. Press the wrong button. There we go. Yep, 960p. It's a sweet spot. Zero question. Using. There we go. Yep, this is a lot more stable. Give me another second because I'm helping somebody and it's getting a little bit confusing. Oh, I forgot to pause the game. Uh, let me. I wish. Oh, my screen's gonna turn off again. There we go. Let me see. All right, guys, and just again, I'm helping somebody over Discord at the same time. Uh, what is that? I don't see that in here. What is this? Hmm. Where are you? I don't see you. Nope, stop. Stop going to sleep. I don't want you to crash. Okay, I don't have access for that, so I can't do that. Discord, but something else. There you go. There we go. That's a lot better. Oh my god. All right, so let me see. I think I'm actually gonna end up a string here because I think I answered most of this question the people were having about this. So I'm just gonna end it up here because if I start playing something else here, it's gonna be completely different. It's gonna defeat the purpose of what I was doing. So anyway, thank you for stopping by, guys. And if you have any more questions, you can always go join my Discord and you could ask questions there. I don't mind replying back to them. Or you could just leave the comment. I'm gonna leave the live stream up so you could actually comment in there if you have any more questions. Well, see you guys around, and I think in a few I might probably play some Lies of Peace. I'm probably gonna be streaming here or moving the stream to my other channel for streaming only. So once again, thank you guys for watching.